Her highly reputable dad went to med school there.
Yeah. He was recently honored, and I'm sure that they would be really proud of him.
Oh, boy.
It's not like anyone's ever going to know because no one wants a scandal on the Upper East Side.
Hey, Upper East Siders and all you scandal-loving listeners out there. You just tuned into the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, where the coffee is strong, the waffles are fresh, and the gossip is hotter than ever. My name is Leif, and I'm your seasoned Gossip Girl veteran.
And I'm Steve. I'm the rookie, the newbie, the first time through. What am I now that we've hit season 4?
I know you think I'm crazy, that I'm a schemer and a liar and pathologically selfish, and that's true, or it was, at least until season 4.
Hey, there's nothing like birthing a new season to get you back into full form here.
Fair enough.
Just as long as we don't talk about your Georgina.
That's all we're talking about this episode.
So here's the deal, folks. Leif has been watching Gossip Girl since it first aired, and I'm diving in for the first time. And together, we're your dynamic duo, bringing you all the drama, romance, and sometimes questionable fashion choices of this iconic 2007 series.
Bring your magnifying glasses because each week we're dissecting every juicy detail of the show, one episode at a time. We'll connect the dots, uncover those sneaky little Easter eggs, and of course, serve up some piping hot behind-the-scenes tea. And expect some iconic moments from Phantom, too, because what's a deep dive without a little drama?
And since we are all about inclusivity here at the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, there is always a seat for you at the non-judging breakfast table. So go ahead and grab a mimosa, a cup of coffee, or maybe call up, well, I don't know where to get anything from now that Chuck's is gone. So grab that little black book and hope there's a secret back page to it.
Yeah.
And let's go ahead and get into this.
Yep, Season 4, Episode 1, Belle de Jour. Original air date was September 13th, 2010. But a little over a month before that, on June 4th, our friend Chase Crawford was arrested in Plano, Texas for a joint. A joint.
Oh, man. And it's funny. So I saw the mugshot. You just showed me the mugshot. And how do you look that good in a mugshot? Like, you look like he got his stylist in there. It looks like Nate Archibald got his stylist in there before getting his mugshot taken.
Well, he got arrested like in a strip mall.
And for a joint, like,
It was Texas.
it was Texas. You could still get arrested in Texas for a joint.
Yeah. He is from Texas.
Oh, I think I did know that.
And his sister is married to Tony Romo.
Yes, I do remember we talked about that. The wait, how many Super Bowl ring champion Tony Romo? I'm trying to remember. I believe that was 0, right?
Judges, can we get a ruling?
Can we get a ruling?
Yes, it was in fact 0.
Okay, good. But then they got Dak Prescott, who now of course has. Wait, that's also 0, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Also 0 Ebbies for Mr. Romo.
Yes, 0. Yes. Well, if you can't get through a broadcast without needing a lozenge, I don't think you get an Emmy.
This episode aired on September 13th, but it was based on the movie Belle de Jour, which came out in 1967, in which a frigid young housewife decides to spend her midweek afternoons as a prostitute.
Interesting.
Very French thing to do.
Yeah.
Definitely not an American movie.
No, and it's the description of frigid is interesting because there's a lot of context that just means not interested in sex. And so to then professionally be like, well, I'm not really into this with my husband, but professionally, I think I'd make a killing. I'm good at it. I don't like it. It does feel like work. So why not just make money doing it?
Makes sense to me.
Like George Carlin always said, fucking is legal, selling is legal. Why isn't selling fucking legal?
So this episode was written by, once again, the combination of Josh Safran and Stephanie Savage.
Yeah. It feels it's funny how Stephanie Savage can't really do one on her own, but when she's paired with Safran like this, there tends to be a lot more continuity. It's almost like Stephanie Savage throws ideas on a page, whereas she becomes sort of this Lennon-McCartney when she's working with Josh Safran.
Or Josh Schwartz.
Right.
Yeah.
When she has that other writer with her.
Well, she doesn't have a writer's background. She was a producer who got the opportunity to write.
Yeah.
And back again in the director's chair is Mark Paznarski, who did The Pilot, The Wild Brunch, Blair Waldorf Must Pie, Valley Girls, Dan DeFlorette, The Grandfather Part 2, and The Treasure of Serena Madre.
Pretty solid.
Very.
Yeah. Wild Brunch was episode 2, I believe.
Yes.
Right? So he did the first 2 episodes.
Correct.
Okay. I don't know why I thought Buckley did. Oh, I think Buckley did the 3rd, right?
No, that was the guy who did the season finale, J. Miller Tobin.
Oh, okay. Because the 3rd one was Poison Ivy, right?
Yeah.
Which was been one of our favorites all along.
And then, so the last one he did was The Treasure of Serena Madre, which is the last season's Thanksgiving episode.
Yes. And Blair Waldorf Must Pie was Thanksgiving too, right?
Season 1 Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so he's done 2 Thanksgiving episodes. So, yeah, very solid credits.
And I don't know if you noticed, but Taylor Momsen is still credited as main cast.
I did not. Well, I didn't see her name in the credits.
Yep.
Oh, maybe I did and just wrote it off. But that's interesting that she would still have a credit, unless she's still on the show and just has a lesser...
Well, yeah, I mean, she's still under contract. She's still listed as main cast.
Yeah.
So she's still getting paid for every episode, supposedly.
That's the job I want. I just want to be main cast on a show.
Steve, isn't that a job you have had for the last 5 years?
Okay, touche.
Why don't you give us that Vulture recap?
All right, here we go. Even by Upper East Side standards, the characters that populate the world of Gossip Girl are privileged. Many of the things that preoccupy huge swaths of the minds and time of even New Yorkers of serious means comes to them effortlessly. Their hair is always perfectly groomed, even Vanessa's. They have the ability to stay fit and thin without ever going to the gym. They can flit seamlessly through time and space, from borough to borough, in the blink of an eye. They can be accepted into Ivy League colleges without having to write an essay or even fool around with someone's dad, we think. And they never even step into bad lighting. But as fortunate as they are, life still occasionally hands them a big bag of shit. In Dan's case, this happened quite literally. We saw in last night's premiere in the form of Milo, his supposed baby son with Georgina Sparks. By the time we catch up with him, Dan seems to have come quite a way toward accepting this change of course in the life he'd planned for himself. Other than telling his parents, of course, but I've sealed my fate, he says to Lily when he does, and he doesn't sound too sad about it, perhaps because he can put off the dispiriting reality of being a professional writer a bit longer. Elsewhere, other cast members were grappling with their sudden storyline changes. Serial monogamous Nate, having dated pretty much every other primary female cast member, loses himself in Chuck's little black book. Serial philanderer Chuck, after being shot and left for dead in Prague, adopts a new personality, complete with Eastern European time warp wardrobe, and Blair and Serena come close to realizing that their true loves may be each other. I don't think they'll ever realize that.
No. Let's get into the episode. Act 1 begins with a Gossip Girl monologue. Nothing beats a summer abroad, but when traveling far from home, it's always nice to bring along an old friend from the neighborhood. Cobblestones and Cafe de Fleur, Serena's locked down the left bank and become amused to us all. Meanwhile, Blair rules the right bank, storming the shops and consuming the classics and sampling sugary snacks like a modern Marie Antoinette. But we hear Serena's stories sizzle while Blair's are more fizzle. She shopped at Saint Laurent and died at Durant, but the only bow Bee's had this summer is on her headband. We get a montage of Blair and Serena enjoying Paris before we focus on them at an outdoor cafe, talking all about all of Serena's boys and Blair's lack of them. Blair is looking for a real connection, and it's not just a fling.
Yeah, or she's gonna come home with a Chuck Bass-sized cloud over her head. And you go to Paris to find romance, and Blair is doing it Blair way.
Rufus and Lily apparently also took a vacation but are back at the penthouse and listening to their answering machines. There are messages from both Eleanor and the Bass business manager, Bruce Kaplan. Rufus is still rightfully salty about Chuck and misses Dan since he hasn't spoken to his son all summer.
Remember answering machines?
Yeah.
That were already outdated by this point. Or later in the episode, Vanessa's like, I left that in Dan's voicemail.
Mm-hmm. They all have cell phones.
They all have cell phones, but Lily now has I guess Lily has canonically had a landline that they have called both places on a landline. So it makes sense for there to be. And well, no, because even by then it was voicemail. Yeah. Even when I had a landline, there came a point that it was just voicemail.
Lily's into that classic retro look.
Yeah. Well, you know what the nostalgia does for her.
Dan and Nate have a phone conversation. Dan is living vicariously through Nate's little black book exploits and living in denial about being a father. Dan promises that he will tell his parents today, but just then, Vanessa is at the door.
I love that Nate and Dan, how Dan's going to Nate for these stories to fill him in. that Nate seems to be having a really fun summer where you see all the women in the penthouse with him, and so nice little bit of banter. And also I love that Nate knows. I love that Dan confided in Nate about this whole thing. So I love that friendship, especially after how last season ended with them kind of fighting with each other, but having that great apology and making up.
Well, yeah, they made up in the fast forward there at the end, the very end of the episode.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is it like the way that it transitioned to them making up, and now for them to actually have this summer of real friendship, like real friend stuff of like being there for each other and talking to each other. So,
and they had a very similar summer to Serena, it sounds like.
Yeah. I had that thought too, that there is a parallel between. I had that thought of how
they both had some fun.
There's at one point Serena says Nate broke up with me, and it's like, no, you told Nate you wanted to be alone, and then he said, okay, then we're broken up. Like, it was a very mutual thing, and you both went off and did your own thing. So
back in Paris, Blair and Serena are discussing Serena's choice of Nate or Dan. Serena gets a large envelope delivered, but is hesitant to open it in front of Blair, who seems to think it's a catalog for Brown.
Yeah.
Serena's lying again already.
Yep. We're kicking off a new season with some Vanderlies.
Lily is meeting with Bruce Kaplan, who is looking for Chuck, who hasn't been making his mortgage payments. He is hoping Lily can help track him down.
This is where was Rufus standing there?
No, that was earlier. That was at the when they were planning the party, or maybe later.
Oh, okay.
This is just where Lily's meeting with them or on the phone with them rather. And then,
okay.
Yeah, and then Lily calls Serena trying to find Chuck, and Serena thankfully Serena says thankfully Chuck has stayed away all summer. She also tells Lily that she got into Columbia and is worried about how Blair is going to react.
And there is also that setup that right before Serena lied where Blair was like, I'm so glad you're nowhere near me.
Yeah.
So Serena has reason to be worried about what Blair's going to think. But also don't lie about it, Serena.
Vanessa is upset Dan hasn't called or emailed all summer. Vanessa becomes a little worried when she sees the state of the loft, but then gets upset again when she spots Georgina's panties. Perfect timing because Georgina comes out carrying Dan's son, Milo.
Yeah, I did like this. I liked Vanessa looking around the room, and she had some great just shots at this situation, like, oh, I guess you're not alone, and Dan just being like, So when she finally goes, I guess I should leave, and Dan's like, yeah, you should.
And then we move into Act 2. Nate sits down at a crowded restaurant with a blonde who is having a very animated phone conversation. The woman at the next table is trying to read a book and is annoyed at the distraction. When Nate's date gets up to continue her conversation somewhere a little more private, he tries to banter with the book reader.
Yeah, and fails.
Yeah.
The part I loved was when he's like, I'm Nate Archibald. And she ignores him, and he's like, well, can I at least get your number? Like, bro, she's not giving you her name.
Yeah.
You expect her number? Well, can I just get your social?
Couple things. So she was reading Wharton's House of the Mirth.
Okay.
I don't know did you ever teach that?
No.
Have you read it?
No, I'm not familiar.
So it is a satire on New York high society.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
And a little small continuity error. Like the camera kept switching back and forth between behind Nate's shoulder and behind Juliet's shoulder.
Uh-huh.
When it was behind Nate's shoulder, she had the book open completely.
Yeah.
When she was behind her shoulder, it was like folded over.
Yeah, she just kept opening and closing it. And yeah. No, yes, it's funny. I didn't catch it, but I'm seeing it. Yeah.
Blair is approached by a Frenchman while admiring an Edward Manet painting. He politely introduces himself as Louis and compliments her beauty. Also, for some reason, he was reading her watch from across the room and figured out she was from New York and not from her divine French accent. They make plans for a late dinner tonight. While putting her info into Louis' phone, she overhears him speaking rapid French to his driver and hears the Grimaldi name.
Yes, I was unfamiliar with the Grimaldis I didn't know their name, but I obviously Monaco royalty and Princess Grace and all that. I'm peripherally familiar.
Prince Albert.
Oh, yeah. Really, I didn't know that they invented that.
Yep. They invented that. Or at least they popularized it. Did you see? So the painting they were looking at was Le Déjeuner sur l'herbe, which translates to luncheon on the grass.
Okay.
Did you get a look at it at all?
Not particularly. I was paying more attention to...
So it's a picture of two men and a naked woman having a picnic. And then there's a second woman kind of in the background in the water.
Interesting. I did not notice that. And that is so telling.
Yeah.
Like that is really funny. That's really funny.
Are you kicking yourself for not thinking of Monaco last week?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Once he said it, I was like, Prince of Monaco, of
Near
course.
France.
Yeah.
Blair immediately calls Serena to tell her she may have bagged a prince and is on her way to being the next Grace Kelly. Blair needs Serena to help her do some emergency shopping before her date tonight.
I love this. And I love it's the Serena knows that she can always get what she wants. I think that is part of why Serena is such a narcissist and why she is so entitled is because she really does just get what she wants. Like, oh, here's a cute bartender. I'm going to slay. Like, I've got it, right?
Well, it's like, in the elevator in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Did you mention my name?
Yes, exactly. So when she's out with this guy and she gets the call that Blair needs her, I love that she drops everything for Blair in these moments. And she always drops everything for Blair when Blair says, I need you. But this one is a little different because Blair isn't having a relapse with her eating disorder, or she's not facing something horrible that Chuck did. It's, I need to go shopping. But it's still Serena always dropping everything when she says those words, I need you. And she's like, and you just know that Serena's like, I could get this anytime. I could have this anytime. There are millions of you in France.
Yeah, it was completely meaningless sex for Serena.
Yes, yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah,
but
good for her.
Yeah, and she's a ride or die.
Yeah, and I do love that. Like, she always is a ride or die at the end of the day. So
we get the obvious Grace Kelly reference here, but also topical to this time period in the real world. 2 months after this episode aired was when Prince William proposed to Kate Middleton. So we're right in the heart of that whole thing.
Okay. Oh, so right. There was American royalty, or there was British royalty dating an American.
And while Blair and Kate Middleton don't look exactly the same, they're both small brunette women.
Mm-hmm.
They have the same body type and coloring.
Yeah.
Katy Perry's Teenage Dream greets our eardrums as we get a montage of high-end Paris shops and a Gossip Girl blast. Spotted, BNS, chic and cheerful up on the Boulevard Haussmann. They dallied at department stores and stayed a while at Tallyville. Down on Rue Saint-Honoré, they courted couture at Palais Royal and found the perfect outfits to bash the competition. Then they headed to the Golden Triangle, where Montaigne meets Georges Cinq, and luxury goods are the opiate of choice.
All right. And then
little mid-act montage with a Gossip Girl blast in there.
Yeah. But of course this one isn't. This was an actual blast though, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yes. Which that was also interesting in this episode, that a lot of Gossip Girl was blasts and less narration, more blasts.
Yeah.
That it's almost like Gossip Girl was featured a little more in this episode than others as an active participant in these people's lives.
Could be hinting at something.
Could be. Which I doubt it is, which makes me even more mad. But we'll get there.
Blair is excited to find out more about Louis, but Serena advises against Googling him. I guess they stopped getting those Microsoft dollars this season. Blair gets a text from Louis and has a friend, so she enlists Serena to double with them. Serena uses this as an excuse to further delay telling Blair about Columbia.
Yeah, she's about to tell her. And then Blair
asks a favor.
Yeah, asks a favor, asks her to go on this date, but also shoots her down at first. As much as I'd like to hear about how they offer a course in raw foods, we have more important things to talk about. Yeah.
Georgina is being pressured by a mysterious Russian caller and is stressed due to the demands of parenthood. She answers a call from a confused Rufus. Georgina is holding Milo's birth certificate. The list stands name, but not yet signed.
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Nope. I mean, legally, nope. I don't think that there's... I guess...
What if the dad's not there?
Right. Well, and that's kind of the thing is... I think maybe what it does is that it says, yes, this is my kid. But even then, a paternity test still negates that signature. So it doesn't matter. If a kid's born and I sign, yes, I'm the father on this birth certificate, and then I find out 6 years later that the mom cheated on me and that's not actually my kid, I'm not on,
that's not necessarily true.
No?
If you've been raising that kid, I believe they've often still been.
If you've been raising that kid and you're like, well, fuck you, you're not mine, you're a piece of shit. Like, there is that. There is that. But I feel like, well, let's be more like 6 months later. I'm very sure you can be like, wait,
I'm not sure the exact timeline.
Yeah. Yeah, but there is a point where you are no longer going to be obligated even if you sign this thing. But well, Dan, you fucking idiot.
He's a dumbass. But he is cute as a dad.
Yeah.
Dan and Vanessa are walking and talking. Dan is freaking out about being a dad and isn't telling anyone as a form of denial. Vanessa points out that he is an idiot for not having a paternity test done.
I liked this scene.
Yeah.
I really liked.
Vanessa was really good in this episode. She was a great friend.
She was fantastic. She was, like you said, she was a great friend. And this scene especially, where she has reason to be upset and hurt, and yet she's just being there and being a good friend to Dan and listening and giving him hard advice and telling him things that he needs to hear. I thought it was a little weird that it's like, you need a paternity test, and Dan pushed back before being like, well, yeah, but I won't sign the thing unless I get one. I thought there was a little fumbling of the dialogue, but all in all,
I think that's the conflicted nature. I think Dan kind of likes being a dad.
Yeah.
Even though he knows he's not really ready, but he does like it.
Yes. And here's the thing. It's very easy to like at that point because you are up a lot and you are exhausted. And I mean, Bailey was awful at night. We couldn't get them to sleep at night. So you're kind of too exhausted to reflect on much else other than, I don't want to break this thing. And which Dan mentions, where Dan is like, you have to like feed them and you can't drop them. And that's really, you go through like this 9-month period where that's all you are focused on, unless I was working at the time when my kids were born. So when I went to work, it was, okay, I'm working and doing work stuff. But as soon as I get home, everything going through your head is, don't kill the baby. And so I really, and it's also, it's exciting and it's sort of a game almost. So like the real difficult parts of parenting haven't started yet. And I love being a dad. I think how, I feel about my kids and how close I am with my kids. I love being a dad. It takes time to really understand the entire scope of what you have done when you've created a child. And I feel like Dan hasn't gotten there yet.
And Vanessa had a couple of good lines in the scene. He had the don't mention her Georgina. Yeah. And also her hair lies. You can't trust one thing that comes out of her mouth, let alone anywhere else.
Robin also cracked up with that.
They missed a chance to call the baby Damien.
They did. Although, I feel like Milo might be something. That might be a reference. Now that you say Damien, I could be off.
Blair is shocked to see Louis driving the car and not in the back seat. It looks like things got mixed up, and now Serena is dating the prince.
To which I said, wow, it's the Prince and the Pauper. Which, I don't know. I called this immediately when they got out of the car.
Well, yeah. And plus, we already did this in season 2.
Yeah. Yes.
And like season 2, Blair fails and the guy still comes back.
Does he?
Yes.
I was wondering. I kind of had a feeling that he would, but because he doesn't in this episode.
Yeah. But it's in the episode description, so.
Oh, it is?
For next week.
Oh, okay.
And Gossip Girl takes us to the next break with Spotted. B riding shotgun. Let's see if our royal wannabe has the grace to make it through the night. Act 3 begins. Paying off from her earlier voice message, Eleanor and her people have invaded Lily's penthouse for the fashion night out party. Rufus is annoyed that Lily is tracking Chuck. Eleanor hears Chuck's name and mentions that Blair still hasn't told her why they broke up. We see the woman that Nate failed to chat up at the restaurant working at the party and learn her name is Juliet.
The Rufus reaction I thought was interesting because I understand his fury with Chuck. Yeah, but he's like, I hope this kid's dead, almost. Yeah. And that's what bothers me, that like, I get that your daughter has been through some serious shit because of this guy and that you're really mad at him, but to just be like, oh, he might be in trouble? Fucking good. Good. I hope his body washed up on a shore somewhere, which I know that's later, but like, bruh, he's still an 18-year-old kid. And he is your stepson, weirdly, in a kind of roundabout way. So, like, maybe tone it down a bit. Mm-hmm. Although I also don't know how I would feel, you know? But, like, I don't wish people death. So, he just was a little callous, I thought.
On the double date, everyone except Blair seems to be having a great time. Blair is going right while everyone else goes left. Blair excuses herself to take a call from Eleanor.
Wonder what Eleanor has to say. now that Lily slipped the info to Eleanor about Brown.
On the phone with her mother, an irritated Blair insists that she has matured beyond petty jealousy of Serena. Eleanor says that's great since they are going to Columbia together.
Yes, how much have you outgrown that, Blair? Let's find out right now.
Just not near any fountains.
Yeah. Or cake.
Nate shows up at the party and learns Juliet's name from her name tag. Before he can try flirting some more, Lily pulls him away to see if he can help her find Chuck.
I like that. Enlist Nate. Yeah. He's a good... The thing you're forgetting is that Nate really isn't so much in the putting together stuff and thinking things. He's not really Detective Nate, but he knows people that do. And also it makes sense, you know, he's probably gone to Prague with Chuck.
Yeah. Blair returns to the table to find French-British singer and actress Lou Doylan in her seat, chatting it up with Serena. Blair tells Serena that Lou Doylan can be her new best friend and enjoy her date before storming off.
So that's a cameo?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, she is an actress.
Yeah.
But she's not cameo. Yeah, she's cameo as herself.
Right. That's what I mean.
But she blends in a little bit more than a normal, like, fashion person.
Yes.
She does know how to act.
I was very much like, why are we just introducing this person, this new friend here? That makes a lot of sense. And for them to kind of put a cameo, a little shoehorned, but it made sense. It makes more sense that Serena met a famous person.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense and feels less shoehorned. This scene felt shoehorned to me. Like, why is this woman sitting at their table? Like, why is she meeting new friends in the middle of their
double date?
So that makes a lot more sense.
But, I mean, yeah. And that's what Serena would do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I could totally see her being a star fucker. Like her mom.
Yeah. Or remember her friendship with Poppy.
Yeah.
Neither Nate nor Lily are happy to see Georgina at the party, gulping a mimosa she snatched from the nearest cater waiter. Nate tries to pull her out of the party, but she shrugs his vanilla ass off. Georgina calls Dan and then hands the phone to Rufus before revealing baby Milo.
Fucking Georgina was spectacular in this scene. Walks in. You got 15 seconds to refill this or you're fired. Some random cater waiter then tells Nate he's too vanilla and just tears through this whole fucking scene. Did she pull the baby out yet?
Yeah.
And she's like, here you go, Grandpa. Just this fucking Tasmanian devil ripping through the scene, and she crushed it. Every time in season 2 and 3 that we get Georgina, it is just so far removed from who she was in season 1 that it felt so clunky and so forced. And now she just seems so effortlessly crazy, you know, and just owns her scenes now. I just really love what Michelle Trachtenberg has done with the character now.
And Gossip Girl takes us to the break with Spotted, Georgina Sparks, a stroller and Dan's dad with a scowl. Looks like Lonely Boy has a baby boy.
I like that one.
Yeah. We go into Act 4. Lily quickly breaks up the party to deal with this new family drama. Dan finds Nate first and then Rufus, and Lily suggests that they talk in Serena's room.
Why would you empty out your party, though? Why not just send them into another one?
She doesn't want the scandal.
Oh, no, it's Lily, yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to avoid scandal.
Yeah. I just kind of was thinking, I feel like it makes it a bigger deal to send everybody out instead of being like, oh, here's some random people, go sit in another room and talk about this, where no one can hear you talking about it.
Nate tracks down Juliet and does some more flirting. However, he is once again interrupted, and this time it's the Empire security alerting him to something happening in his suite.
Yeah. Then you just hear the ruckus in the background.
Now, why didn't the security tell him what was going on? Or if they did, why would Nate bring Juliet to see that?
I was going to say that when they showed up. That, like, why is she there? And like, oh man, there's an emergency at my thing. You better come with me, person I'm trying to hook up with. I hear a bunch of women screaming in the background of my room. You got to see this.
Check out how much booty I'm getting.
Yeah. I know you're not really impressed with me so far, but if you see how much ass I pulled this summer, you will definitely turn your whole idea around. Enlightened, not chauvinistic.
Nate, bless your heart. Blair is sitting on a fountain by herself when Serena tracks her down. Blair reveals she found out about Serena going to Colombia.
And another one of these bestie fights that it makes good tension between these two.
We'll continue the next scene, but
yeah,
I guess this is a good time, Annie, to talk about what was the timeline on Serena applying to Colombia.
Right, because we know that Blair
didn't actually apply,
but was accepted
after the deadline.
After the deadline, at the beginning of before the end of the school year.
Yeah.
Right. She all of those were sent out, but she didn't apply because she had missed the deadline, which means that Serena knew that she applied to Columbia way before that.
Yeah.
Or Serena'd her way in like she did to Yale.
Yeah.
Which is my real assumption, that Serena's like, where Blair applied to Columbia, Serena told Columbia, I'd like to go here, and they sent her a welcome packet. That's what I would assume.
Her highly reputable dad went to med school there.
Yeah. He was recently honored, and I'm sure that they would be really proud of him.
Oh, boy.
It's not like anyone's ever going to know because no one wants a scandal on the Upper East Side. Highly reputable. And the highly reputable Holland Campbell is Dr. Holland Campbell as well.
No, Serena said she was a child.
Serena have aspirations of medical school because, sweetie.
Maybe a psychiatrist.
Maybe.
Georgina apologizes to Lily for the dramatic reveal, but she felt like it was the only way to get Dan to face reality. She then plays on Lily's maternal instincts for other people's children. to get her to soften up towards Milo. Rufus comes out of Serena's room and tells Lily that Dan hasn't done a paternity test. Georgina comes prepared because she produces a paternity test showing that Dan's the daddy. Rufus remains skeptical.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. She had the test done. That must be legit.
Yeah.
These people with unlimited resources, that's got to be legit, Dan. But you know what? Call and check. Call and make sure. We'll get back to you.
I'm sure it was actually your sample. Serena and Blair continue to argue, and Serena wants to continue on with what she has always known, but after Blair's horrible freshman year at NYU and the Chuck drama, she wanted a clean slate away from her old life. Blair says she is going back to the date alone, and that she will say that Serena tripped and fell into a fountain. And then she pushes her into a fountain.
Yes. Which I loved it, kind of. You know, it's just so classic Blair. And it's so classic Blair and Serena that Blair is mad at this thing, and I'm going to lash out and shove your face in a cake or push you into a fountain or tell everybody that you're a drug addict in recovery. You know, like,
Yeah.
She does these overly dramatic things when she's mad at Serena because Serena's the only person who would put up with her bullshit.
Indeed. And we move into Act 5. Dan confirms the paternity results for the doctor, but Rufus is still doubtful. However, it is enough for Dan, who signs the birth certificate. Dan and Rufus embrace.
Dan,
Bless your heart.
you called her doctor that she gave the sample to. That's not verification. You may have just called a photo hut that just at this point in time was so hurt for money because no one was getting film developed anymore that she just paid them off. Like, you don't know who you just talked to.
Again, all she could have done is just get the actual dad's sample and submitted that.
Yeah, or that. Yeah, either way.
Because we know she's actually cut off now, so she doesn't have a ton of money.
That's true. That's true.
She can't just go around bribing people, so it's much more likely that she just had
The actual
father's sample
Yeah.
ready for this moment. Nate and Juliet return to the Empire Suite to find a cadre of women in lingerie playing Rock Band 3. Nate is flustered and Juliet has seen enough. She gives Nate her number and instructions to call her when he gets his shit together.
What was the emergency, though?
I guess they were just being loud and disturbing other guests, maybe?
Yeah, but, like, doesn't Chuck do that all the time? Like, it just didn't seem to be...
I think Chuck's partying is more subdued.
Subdued, yeah. It just didn't seem too crazy to me. It just seemed like a bunch of women playing Rock Band.
Yeah.
That seemed pretty harmless to me. And also, once again, why is Juliet there? Why did you invite this person with you? Or did she invite herself? Like, because at the reveal at the end, we know that she may have been like, "Oh, well, let me go with you." But also, why would you want to?
I gotta take care of this on my own.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you for lunch tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll call you. And she gives him her number too. She's like, "Man, well, if you're ever ready to actually talk, now I'll give you my number. Now that I've seen this craziness, okay, I'm into you, but not now."
Oh, Nate, getting taken advantage of by a guest star yet again.
Mm-hmm.
Lily asks her stepson about his romantic future with her daughter. Dan thinks that that ship has sailed, and he doubts Serena wants to be a stepmom. This doesn't stop Dan from asking how she is, though.
Yeah, sweet, Dan. And also fair.
It's an awkward conversation.
Yeah. Super awkward. Yeah, I almost wanted to hit it with your daughter, Mom. But but I ended up getting this other person pregnant. So
Womp womp.
yeah. So I guess I don't think I'm going to be dating my stepsister.
A dripping Serena re-enters the restaurant and pulls Jean-Michel away to take her home. Being alone with Louis, Blair starts making excuses to leave, when Louis reveals that she has failed his test. Louis was in fact the royal all along.
What? No.
Oh, Blair, you dumb bitch.
You so fucking stupid, Blair. You did it again, Blair. I want you to love me for me, or maybe before me, but you're hot enough that I don't care. Also, I don't often say this because I, in general, don't really think this very often watching the show, but Serena looked hot when she got out of the water. Like, when she walked in that scene, that was like, that's kind of hot. Like, to walk into the restaurant and be like, walk me home to that dude, I'd be like, okay, sure. And
I can do that.
Yeah. And there's so much of this show, it's like these are teenagers. And I know they're not teenagers, but to keep my own immersion, I don't think of them like that. You know, it's so seeing Serena that come in like that, it was like, damn, which is just, I don't usually think like that about her.
It's a little bit different for me because I was watching it when I was the same age as the actors.
Right. No, well, and I get that. And because there are other shows that it's more where I have that sort of sense, you know, that like, where it's not like I think these teenagers are hot, but when I watched this as a teenager, they were hot.
You get that Lily nostalgia boner.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Gossip Girl takes us to the break with, we hear Baccarat just updated its menu. The gâteau du jour is now humble pie. Bon appétit, Blair.
Yeah.
So we remember Lord Marcus, so we know that actor was American. Do we think Louis is American, or is he actually French?
I kind of feel like he has an American swagger to him, which makes me think he's not really French, but I also think his accent is pretty impeccable. So it could be.
I believe he actually is French.
Yeah. He nails the accent, so.
We move into the epilogue. Vanessa calls the loft and Georgina answers. The two spar, but the general gist is that Vanessa is ready to be Dan's friend whenever he needs her. As she hangs up, Georgina leaves a post-it note with a message that she's gone to the spa. Passport in hand, she exits the loft, and we see a shot of Dan sleeping with baby Milo.
Again, Georgina, this whole episode, she walks in and drops the bomb, the little one, but this whole episode was really her just dropping a chaos bomb. And post-it note, going to the spa, and I saw the bags packed the first time, so I knew she was running away. I didn't notice the passport the first time. I didn't notice that she was running all the fuck away.
Yeah. Oh, Dan, you're stuck now.
Yeah.
And that's the last time we ever see Georgina Sparks.
No! Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay, good. I was going to say, I would be really sad because
Dan's stuck with a baby for the rest of the series.
The rest of the year. Well, then just use it for baby oil. They squeeze the oil from the babies. They have to wring the oil from the babies. Is that how they do it?
Blair finds Serena packing and sort of apologizes. Blair tells Serena that she has been faking all summer and that she isn't even close to being over the pain of what happened with Chuck. This softens Serena's stance. The two make up and agree to give Columbia a shot. Blair sends the tip to Gossip Girl, and we get some shots to the masses reading the blast.
Yeah. It's kind of the classic Blair manipulation of Serena of, I did something really terrible to you. Now here's the really terrible thing I'm going through, so forgive me.
Yeah.
It's not an unnatural thing to do. It is also something that many of us do to, especially the people we love. You know, you lash out at the people you love because you know they'll forgive you. So, but it is that same sort of manipulative, oh, but my life is so terrible, I need you here. And Serena also rightfully being like, you know, I went through some shit last year too.
Yeah.
And if you went measure for that year, I'd say Serena had it a bit worse. Mostly because I'm saying Serena had more stuff happen, I guess. Well, I guess some of that was pre-season before, but
most of Serena's stuff was brought on by herself, though.
That's also true. That is also true.
Blair got trafficked by her boyfriend.
Yeah, she did get trafficked by her boyfriend. Attempted traffic, but traffic nonetheless.
One of the people who see the blast was Nate, who calls Juliet to admit that he was hurt by someone. Juliet invites him to coffee. During this conversation, we saw Juliet putting tags back on her outfit. After hanging up, she immediately rips the tag off again and puts the jacket back on. And we get a shot of her bulletin board with pictures of the NJBC and a map of Manhattan with strings tacked between the points of interest. There are even pictures of Dan and Vanessa on there. And her computer is open to Gossip Girl.
Yes, bum, bum, bum.
Who is Juliet?
Yes. So the one thought is this Gossip Girl? It would be really weird to not have it be a cast member or even like a peripheral cast member. But I feel like it'd be weird to have Gossip Girl be not an extra, but a short-lived. Now, I also don't know that she's short-lived. I feel like we're going to need a Jenny replacement to balance things out. I'm pretty sure you and I talked about there will be another permanent cast member that comes in that's on the cover on the HBO Max. Mm-hmm. And I've never really paid enough attention to clock that because it's like, I don't know who that is, so I'm not worried about it. So I don't even know if that's the same person.
It's not Juliet.
Okay, I didn't think so. But is this Gossip Girl? That seems like a stretch. Do they want me to think it's Gossip Girl? Absolutely.
In the middle of the night, Lily gets a call from the Paris police. They found a body with a gunshot wound and Chuck Bass's identification.
Is Chuck dead?
I could change one thing from this episode. I would have put this reveal much earlier in the episode and then wait till the end. But you get this, she gets the call and then immediately, there's Chuck, he's alive.
So I actually would have made that be XOXO. That a body washed up on the street, Gossip Girl monologue out, and not find out this Chuck shit
until next week.
I think they should have let us think he's dead.
Yeah.
And I think you're saying the same thing, that they should have let us think for a while that Chuck is dead. And because I like that she had to investigate, hear about it, but then it's, he's dead. Then we flash right to, no, he's not. And it just seemed
a wasted opportunity.
Yes. It seemed like the writers were like, but we can't, if people think he's actually dead, they might not tune in next week. We better let them know.
That's why I say just put the Lily getting that call in
the beginning.
Or something. Yeah. But the final scene is before we can all start mourning Chuck. We get a flashing sequence where we see a writhing Chuck being treated by Fleur Delacour post gunshot. Chuck sees flashbacks of some of the horrible things he has done. Before we flash forward to him waking up, he looks around the room and sees a copy of Henry V and introduces himself as Henry Prince. The scene flashes forward again to present day, and the pair are now a couple arriving in Paris looking for work.
I loved this episode. Maybe not loved, but I really enjoyed this episode until this. And I don't even mind this storyline. I just thought the reveal was so anticlimactic. And just, especially with there being no space to mourn, like you said, to mourn Chuck. Good storytelling would have us mourn Chuck. Yeah. Good storytelling had us mourning Tyrion before we realized that he was okay. Good storytelling lets you mourn first. And we didn't get that.
And Gossip Girl ends the episode with this line. Napoleon once said, secrets travel fast in Paris, but Gossip Girl travels faster. Bisous, bisous. What's coming next?
I'm curious, is Nate going to have an interesting relationship? Because there is somebody who's going to have a relationship with Nate who has piqued my interest more than anyone else he's been with because of this whole she's got ulterior motives that we know now, up front. The other time with the last one at the beginning of last season when he was with the Buckley, and we find out later that she was scheming, it was such a boring relationship to get to that reveal. So at least now, if it's a boring relationship, at least the reveal is up front so we know there's something else going on. Again, I feel like this episode sets up a season nicely. We have the Dan story with the Dan Milo story that I don't think a baby is just on the show now. Although there was that point where Lily and Rufus are like, could you imagine starting over again? Tee-hee-hee. And was that foreshadowing to the Dan thing, or is that foreshadowing to them now jumping the shark together with a new baby coming into this? So I did have that thought, like, are Lily and Rufus going to have a kid? Ugh. So I see these big arcs playing out. I'm kind of wondering if we're going to see some of these parallels. So again, like the parallels between the Buckley at the beginning of last season and with Juliet at the beginning of this season. So I'm wondering what kind of parallels at the end of this season where the friendship's going to kind of like fall apart and come back together. So I see like the Blair and Serena at the same school again being plenty of fodder for drama for them. I also predict some really fucking annoying storytelling because we have Dan and Vanessa at NYU and Serena and Blair at Columbia and Nate at Columbia. So now once again, we don't have the cast together, and there is zero reason for Dan and Vanessa to be involved with Blair, Serena, or Nate other than the step siblings and Nate and Dan just being friends. But they don't have reason to be going to the same parties anymore.
No.
They don't have reason to be going to the same events.
Any thoughts on what Juliet's motivations are?
I had the thought of...
if she's not Gossip Girl.
Yeah, I do not think she's Gossip Girl. I'll say that outright, that I do not think Juliet is Gossip Girl. I think that it's probably something related to Gossip Girl. I kind of had the thought of, is she hunting Gossip Girl and these 4 people are always at the center of it, or these 6 people are always at the center of it. So I kind of had that thought that maybe she's hunting Gossip Girl.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I think that the Chuck storyline is going to annoy me until he's back in the fold. That's a prediction. I think it's going to take 3 episodes for him to come back to New York, but he's going to come back to New York, and the whole Paris thing is going to irk me.
So I'll say everyone's still in Paris next week.
Everyone is still in Paris next week?
Well, everyone's there is still there.
Yeah, the girls and Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, great. Okay, so they're going to run into each other, obviously. Oh, and I wonder if Blair's going to get the info that Chuck's dead and then run into him and be like, you motherfucker. Oh, so Blair's going to mourn Chuck for an episode and then find out he's not dead. Oh, that's... okay. Interesting.
Well, let's get into some segments. This week in fandom, when we jumped into the Wayback Machine to travel to the fan forums from 2010.
Hello there, Peabody here. And this is the Wayback Machine for traveling through time. And this is my boy, Sherman. Speak, Sherman. Hello. Good boy.
A lot of pre-episode excitement for the Caesar premiere, and overall, most really liked the episode.
Yeah, solid. Like I said, I didn't like the end, but I thought the rest of the episode was solid.
By the way, did you recognize Fleur Delacour?
I did not.
Yeah.
What would I know her from?
From Harry Potter. Her real name is Clement Posey. Her character is Fleur Delacour.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's funny because you kept saying Fleur Delacour. I'm like, I know that name. Where do I know that name from? Yes.
Yeah, the actress's name is Clemence Posey.
Yeah.
So even though they like the episode overall, they are tired of seeing Serena and Blair fight.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing it for 3 years now.
Yeah. Lots of love for Katie Cassidy. What is Juliet up to? Is she Gossip Girl?
Yeah. Which she can't be Gossip Girl. Like, she can't be at season 4. I believe I know. I don't know, no, but I thought that someone at one point spoiled that it's revealed in the last episode. So I think I do know that. I could be wrong, but I think Rachel spoiled that for me. It could even have been you, like, way early on, like you don't find out till the end or something like that.
Did you watch Arrow?
Oh, only the first half of the first season.
Did you recognize Katie Cassidy?
No, was she the lead in...
Yeah, she's Laurel / Black Canary.
Oh, I didn't even recognize her.
They were disappointed by so little Chuck screen time.
Meh.
And why didn't that woman bring him to a hospital?
Yes. Why didn't she take him to a hospital?
What is she up to?
Yeah. We had that conversation too. Like, why are you nursing him back to health in your dirty apartment?
That is it for this week in fandom. Let's move over to episode grades. You're first this week.
I'm going to give it a B. I thought it was a solid season premiere. Again, I'd probably say this is my favorite season premiere out of the 3 that are not the pilot. That season 2 and season 3, season 4. I'd say this is probably my favorite of those 3. I felt like it was a bit better of a foundation. The minus, the places where it comes down from an A, no central group together. We always like it when everybody's together in the end, which they don't always do for season premieres. I also didn't like the Chuck stuff at the end. I wanted to mourn Chuck. So other than that, I think that it was a couple writing things here and there that were a little, why are you saying it like that? But it didn't take away from my experience. So yeah, B.
So yeah, I really like this episode. Like you said, it's definitely the second best season premiere of the show, behind the pilot. It did feel slightly disjointed. It was pretty clear that there was an A team and a B team. So I forgot to mention this at the top, but even though Josh Schwartz hadn't written anything since the Valley Girls episode, which is the backdoor pilot, and before that, the season 1 finale he co-wrote, he was the writer on set in Paris.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they were filming both simultaneously. So it was probably the B team back in New York.
Right.
And he kind of felt those scenes felt a lot flatter.
Yes. Yeah.
Ultimately, I landed on a B+.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good.
Stockwatch, who you got going up?
All right. So let's see. I have Juliet going up. We're going to start there because she is up to something. And I'm going to have the girls going up, Blair and Serena. They had a nice come together moment at the end. And I don't think that Blair had a particularly great episode, but I think that they're heading in a good trajectory. So I'm going to give them both the up.
For me, I had Georgina going up because she pulled her scheme off, it seems like.
See, I was on the fence about Georgina, but I was like, I kind of left her neutral because I didn't know where she was, but I was on the fence with her.
I had Serena going up because she got it to Columbia and she was a good friend. I had Lily going up because she was a good mother to other people's kids. I had Chuck going up because he survived. He didn't die. I had Eric and Jonathan going up because they're apparently back together in Italy, so good for them.
No, they said Elliot.
Oh, they said, was Elliot?
Yeah, they said Eric and Elliot.
Okay. I'll change that to Elliot then. They're enjoying Italy. And then we had Vanessa. I had Vanessa going up because she was a good friend.
Yeah.
And then I had Juliet up because she's got Nate wrapped around her finger.
Yeah, I should put Vanessa up. Yeah. She She doesn't get it very often.
Who do you got going down?
I'm going to start with Rufus for just being Rufus, for just the shittiness. Dan is stuck with a kid that's probably not his. I'm going to have Nate for just kind of being a mess right now. I feel for him. And Jenny, I'm going to send Jenny down because she is still not on the Upper East Side, and they did mention her in the beginning of this episode.
But they mentioned she was doing great.
Oh, they do, don't they? All right, I'll leave her neutral. So yeah, I guess that's it.
For me going down, I had Blair going down because she was kind of shitty this episode, and she failed the princess test.
Yeah, I guess I kind of knew that was going to be what Blair does, but like how she ended up. But I think it's fair that she got that.
And then Dan, because, yeah, he's stuck with a kid. And Nate, not because his life is a mess, but because he's getting used once again.
Well, yeah.
But here's the best outfits from the last episode we've seen.
Best outfit, who do you got?
I want to first start with my shout out to Georgina's first outfit that you see, the casual around the house. And just in general, Georgina's like mom wear it felt like something that a young mom would wear. Mm-hmm. And I thought that it really matched her general style too. So I really liked her stuff, but overall I'm giving it to Blair at the Louvre, the flower print dress that she was wearing. I really liked that.
So I also gave it to Blair, but an outfit you see for like half a second at the beginning of the episode. It was her purple beaded organza dress by Maxime Simeons. She's also wearing black patent leather Louis Vuitton pumps and a clutch from Swarovski.
And it's interesting that she started the episode in purple too, but doesn't end the episode in purple.
That is it for segments. You got anything to plug this week?
I believe I'm still just plugging my Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Steve.Marchon, Marchion. Or you can find me on Spotify with the same name without the dot in the middle. And I don't really have much else coming up. We are working hard on getting Best of This going, so we'll keep you posted on that.
If you want to follow me, you can find me on Instagram and on Blue Sky at Hot Capicola. That's HOTCAPICOLA. And you can follow the podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at Non-Judging Breakfast Pod. You can also find links to our Discord, our Patreon, and our subreddit on our website, nonjudgingbreakfastpod.com.
And if you'd like to get in touch with us, we'd love to hear what you have to say. Please feel free to send us an email at nonjudgingbreakfastpod@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear your thoughts and maybe read your email here on the show. Also, while you're listening to us, if you wouldn't mind hitting that like or subscribe button and leaving us a comment will really help boost our visibility in Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So again, another chance to let us know what you're thinking of our podcast. And also, if you could, tell your friends what you're listening to. Go ahead and make us your water cooler talk every week.
And next episode, we will be back to talk about Season 4, Episode 2, Double Identity. The episode description reads, Blair is pursued by a handsome young man she suspects is part of Monaco's royal family. Chuck adjusts to a fresh start in Paris with a mysterious new woman.
Yeah, so Blair, so you suspect that okay, all right. I don't even know where to go with that because we already got the reveal. So
you gotta remember these are the episodes just come out like 3 or 4 weeks before the episode comes out.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's just yeah.
Well, until next time, you know you love us.
XOXO.
Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Oh, it seems I'm walking right to your door. My heart's still resting, looking for something more. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Never feels right when I'm out here on my own. I left last night and it feels like way too long. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Come back to me. Smile and you'll make my life complete. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there.